Hello, and thank you for joining me on my journey to the top 100 trout streams in America. I'm Getty Sarno. Trout fishing has been a passion of mine for as long as I can remember. My plan is to start off in my home waters in Pennsylvania and Maryland, and then expand my trips out west. So come along for some fun fishing in fantastic waters. Today, I'm going to fish LeTort Spring Run. LeTort is in south central Pennsylvania, just south of Carlisle, right off of Bonnie Brook Road. I parked right by a bridge that crosses the run and saw a fisherman using a 10-car rod, so I knew I was on the right track. The access to the stream is great, lots of pull-offs, and there's a really nice maintained path. There are even some markers that give the history of the South Mountain Railroad and how important it was to the region. I wanted to fish upstream, so I followed the trail down towards Carlisle for about a mile, and then I started a path back to the stream. It was very tricky getting to fishable water. The spring seeps out of the ground, so it's not a traditional fishing experience. There's not really a bank along the stream, so be prepared to wade just to get to fishable water. What looked like wet ground was really cold swamp that sunk me up to my knees and made me fall twice. When I finally got into the stream, it was very tricky. I could not walk up the stream because it was too deep and filled with plants. But I could tell this was amazing water for trout. Constant cold water with lots of places to hide. I tried my best to fish, but being alone, I kept sinking into the deep water and it just wasn't safe. I finally had to give up and get back to the trail. Up on the trail, I came to a bridge by a quarry and saw that I could get in to fish. It was very technical with lots of overhanging branches, but I did manage to get in a few good casts. At the top of the hole was a tree overhang, and I cast a light kail close to the bank. Surprisingly, I saw a fish move and he hit my fly. It was a big brown that put up a great fight. I ended up trying to fish the top of the hole, but it was just too hard for me. I lost about 5 flies in the trees and finally had to give up. After fishing LeTort, I had about an hour of fishing time left, so I drove over to the Yellow Breeches. I parked at the Allenberry Resort and Playhouse. What a great place. They have plays and sometimes run specials including dinner. The sticky buns are amazing. The resort would make a fantastic base camp if you're traveling into the area. They have a special parking lot just for fishermen, and grant walk-in access and even a public restroom. Now, I've fished the Yellow Breeches before, and even though it's not on the official list, it really should be. The water is spring-fed and cold. It's catch and release fly fishing only and loaded with trout. I parked and walked down behind the picnic area and down a very good path. Crossing into the water, I saw what looked like a guide with 2 older clients. I didn't want to spoil their time, so I moved downstream and fished some really shallow water. I wasn't in a very good position, and I tried to make my way down around a bend, but unfortunately, there was another fisherman working nymphs and doing pretty well there. This left me stuck with questionable water, with no real options. I moved to the top of the bend and found that I could cast, so I started with mosquito and fished it close to the bank. I had what I think was a chub knock it down, so I kept trying. I did find that if I cast upstream, I could get a decent drift into the larger riffle. So I changed over to our number 16 Royal Wolf and fished it down drift. Then boom, really big brown. I need to get better at being able to fish off the reel, as I tried my best, but I ended up with, I think, too little pressure on this really big fish. And he shook his head, and that was the end of that. All in all, a terrific day. I would have loved to land him, but it would have been icing on the cake of a fantastic day. I'm definitely going back to Yellow Breeches again and again. I'll probably skip the LeTort because it's just not my kind of water. I drove on a separate trip to the Yellow Breeches and caught these 2 fish. Again, tons of fun. So you should definitely check out LeTort. It's a cool and interesting stream, and the Yellow Breeches is really amazing. Now, I plan to post a lot more videos, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel.